My name is Veronica Salazar, and I will be talking about the artwork titled Slit by Carl Andre. The medium is steel and copper, and the year in which it was assembled is 1981. The artwork can be found at the Modern Art Museum in Fort Worth. So what I see in this artwork is tile and a line formation. I see alternations of the colors black and gray in these tiles. I see rust stains on some of the crevices, noting the wearing off of the piece's former luster and shine. I see both shoe prints as well as footprints on its surface. I believe it's a hinted representation of all the multitudes of people whom have set foot on this piece. Upon my observation of the piece's condition, I infer that it illustrates a road often traveled, yet taken for granted by many of us. Based on the way it is set up at the museum, one easily overlooks it, walks right over it, not realizing that it is yet another piece of art within the museum. Not necessarily does the artwork have to be on a frame hung for spectators on the museum wall. It can also be illustrated as such on the floors of the museum. At the time the artwork was created, it could have been representation of appreciation felt for a certain road, a road traveled on a regular basis perhaps. What leads me to think this is the way in which the artwork is presented. Considering that it is on the floor of the museum, many people often walk it and don't notice individuality from the rest of the museum flooring. The piece is often depreciated. The piece creates in me a feeling of sympathy. I feel that it calls for a lot more attention and admiration than what it really receives. The sole artist's choice of setup of the artwork helps us to relate it to maybe something personal, which we also overlook and don't realize how much of our lives it forms part of. The way in which this is a good form of art is that it is unique. The complexity behind the art, along with the way it is illustrated, is what gives it its greatness and uniqueness. As I previously mentioned, the work is definitely impactful in the form in which it helps us to pay closer attention to true art we often pass by on a regular basis. We don't take the time to admire certain forms of art due to its out of the ordinary representation. We are so used to seeing art illustrated on a wall or a standing sculpture versus a piece simply lying flat on the floor. Upon the information which the museum provides about the work, we acquire a little bit of a background about the artist which may very well aid our full comprehension of the piece's meaning. We are revealed that at the time of this work's making, the artist worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad. Upon being disclosed to such a background, we are indeed confirmed the artwork's relativity to a road often traveled. In this case, a road which the artist transited often. This has great correlation with my initial interpretation of the artwork. In comparison to what the museum has to say about the artwork, I believe that my judgment is fairly accurate. Such comparison makes me feel confident in my interpretation of art.